Hello, and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan read-through podcast. My name is Peter Bond, and I've read each book in the main series. However, my two co-hosts are reading the series for the first time. With me today is my friend and closest confidant, a very sleepy India Jones.
I am sleepy, but I am always excited.
And from the Weasel clan, there's also Josh Baker here.
It's pronounced Weasel.
I know we have a whole pronunciation nation thing going on, but I'm gonna stand by Weasel on that one.
You can stand in your ignorance, Peter, and that's fine with me.
Today on the podcast, we are reading Deadhouse Gates chapters 9 and 10. And I enjoyed these chapters to a different degree, and we can get into it later, but something I kind of liked about them was, and usually chapters are split around so many different POV characters, but for the most part, chapter 9 was about Kalam, and chapter 10 was about Diker, and there's a bit with Felicien at the end of chapter 9, but I felt like it was more focused on the one storyline. How did that kind of change hit either of you?
Well, if it were focused on people that I enjoyed reading about, I would have liked it, but because I really am not into Diker, chapter 10 was the worst, and Kalam's kind of funny, so I didn't mind chapter 9, and that actually was a pretty interesting chapter, so I liked chapter 9.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be real with you, I actually didn't even notice that it was only about like one person at a time.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, he said it, and I was like, no, there were, and I'm looking now, and it's like, no, it was just those. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like if you look back at like chapter 6, it's like it's like,
oh no, you're 100%, yeah. Well, we've had some groups that we were getting multiple POVs from kind of, condense.
Yeah, well, especially sometimes, groups have multiple narrators within it. So It's like you're jumping around between different people in one setting. Alrighty, well, let's jump further into the details and let's get into chapter 9.
Ooh.
Whew.
Sorry, that was a ooh, that coffee's hot voice.
No, let's just get as many sighs as in the podcast as we can get.
Is it morning or something?
I need some vocal warm-ups. I've got some mad... AJ, you can keep that in there somewhere if you want, bud.
Well, we're trying to get as many whales into the show as we can.
Yeah.
Chapter 9. Kalam is crossing the... Ooh.
Oh boy, that was quick.
It's a heck of a name. Chapter 9. Kalam is crossing the Orbel Odan. In the desert, he finds the trail of Malazan refugees. He leaves the wagon and searches for them. However, he meets bandits. Kalam poses as part of the rebellion. Together with the bandits, they speak of Agistal, Coltane, and the state of the rebellion. They ride together to hunt down the refugees. They find the Malazan camp set up, and the bandits spread out to attack. Kalam kills the bandit leader, and the Malazan kills the other bandits. The refugees are led by Captain Keneb, his wife and 2 children, and his sister-in-law, Minella. Keneb questions him to why he's in the desert. Both soldiers speak about what led them there. They agree to travel to Erin together. Kalam and Minella go off and kill the remaining bandits. They make camp and speak to the children about violence and soldiering. They also speak of the renegade fist, Corbalo Dom, who has joined the rebellion, and then they ride for Erin. Felicien and Haboric think the Warren was recently flooded, then T'lan Imass arrive. Hentos Ilm, a bonecaster and their leader, explains they are searching for a renegade kin. She explains they are within Krald Emerlane, the Tisti Eater's Warren, the Elder Warren of Shadow. It was the Tisti Eater's Warren before Shadow Throne and Cotillion gained control. They speak of Aboric's hands, the mysterious power that is imbued in him, and his strange connection to Fenir. A storm approaches, wounding the Warren. Lagana Breed, a clanless T'lan Imass, offers their life, but not before giving Stormy his flint sword. The T'lan Imass disappears, including Lagana Breed, who takes a head from the Tisti Andi with them. Finally, Felicien finds Bodin at the bow of the ship. The two speak briefly of the T'lan Imass, but then of Felicin's own self. Alrighty, India, we catch up with Kalam in the desert, and he finds these Malazan refugees. But first, he lies on his feet, blends it with these bandits. We got a whole saga, and he really, murder, talk, whole chunk of meat. What you think?
When I started this, I forgot that I actually did like this chapter. Like I said, I liked it, but I actually really liked it. Kalam is hilarious. I love when he kind of realizes that because they lied too, I feel, right? They said that they were just rebels, I guess, but they were really
oh yeah, they're like
bandits and just killing people and stealing all their shit, which is
people.
They're not fighting against the Malazans. They're just
genuinely are just shitty. And then they try to threaten Kalam a little bit, and he literally shuts it down so fast. They had no idea what they were getting into when they started with him.
He has no time for their games.
He literally, and then they're like, "Oh, what? Us? No, kidding. Love you. Let's go. Let's just go. Actually, let's go." So I really like how he joins them and plays them and then kills them violently to save the...
I totally agree. And I know it's the bandit leader. I forget his name. But the bandit leader is particularly loathsome and makes some pretty terrible remarks. And I enjoy his demise, and it
quite
was
satisfying.
Yeah,
it was.
So.
And then just a question, just to make sure I'm right. The Malazan people, the refugee people, they set up the camp to ambush people that try to kill them.
Yeah, it was like a trap camp.
That was pretty ballsy, considering they have 2 small children and 3 adults.
Well, I think the bandits say that they robbed them earlier in the day, so maybe they knew that they could return.
Now, okay, now something that's unclear to me is I feel like that's actually a lie from them, because later he finds out from the refugees that their entire thing was demolished by an army, right?
Oh yeah.
But now we have the refugees that are alive, and then the caravan that was attacked. Do we think that that's the big caravan, or is that probably a small caravan that survived the initial attack, maybe, but then got hit by these bandits? I don't know if it's clear in the books, honestly.
What do you mean by the big caravan?
Well, there was a huge amount of them leaving from a city, they said.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah, so what did that big caravan, is that the same one that Kalam first comes across?
I think by the time the city was Orbal, and I think those refugees had already thinned, and maybe it was just they're...
That's what I was wondering. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I think by the time they find those things, it's... Because I imagine more than just, I don't know, the 5 of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Had made it that far. Anyway, Josh, what did you think of this? We kind of got into the math of it all.
Well, I mean, anytime I get to read about some dude murdering 9 people in less than 2 minutes, it makes for some pretty intense reading. And I do want to say shouts out to my boy Erickson, because I've read some scenes like this where it's utterly dull and I do not like it. And this one was the pacing was really good. I think it did a good job of showing that Kalam is nigh unbeatable, but he does mention there's a couple times that even Kalam gets hit, later. And if it was a good hit, whole book changes. So.
And I like that when Kalam and Manala fight those this second half of the bandits, he's like, man, if that was on a different day, I could have straight up died.
Yeah,
it's he's thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Also, Manala's those horses, Guess that's wild. And Kalam's like, yeah. Real
I love that
I was hungry.
Yeah.
I just love that the horse talk continues. Do you know what I mean? Just everyone.
The horses in this book are the real story.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not paying attention.
Wiccan, Azath, Felicin, none of it matters. Shapeshifters, they're gone. Horses only on 7 cities.
Wait, but we can just confirm really quick. Update those horses and those men, correct?
Yes.
Oh, I think that's so funny.
App says he's pining for some equine.
Oh God, that was Josh,
you not fans of that?
No, I kind of. But that's really I love Apt. He's just in the shadows, taking names silently,
and then he's just eating the horses. He's living his best life,
He is, and he deserves it. He's my favorite character so far. I want to learn more. I wish he could speak.
Well, what you guys think of Captain Keneb and the other new refugees?
Why did he pass out? Why does he have a head injury? What happened?
Well, he got hurt.
When?
Yeah.
When?
Before we met him.
Oh.
Yes. Like
Okay.
He
just
kind of chased
before.
across the desert, like so many, so many people.
Like
are
so many tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. I like him. He's in a shitty position, and I feel bad.
So Kalam in his cover is like, oh, well, I'm going to Aaron to go rejoin with everyone, rejoin the army. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Mm.
I also just want to say, just you can put this in here, I think Captain Keneb's a sub, right? It definitely feels like it.
You think he's a sub?
Yeah. I mean, Manala is textbook Dom, so. But that's not even his wife. That's his sister-in-law. I'm aware, but.
I'm not liking where this is going.
I'm going to go with Manala is maybe, you know what, Josh, I'm gonna stop out of this pool. I got nothing to say.
Okay.
Oh. No, I remember, Peter. I remember because they were like, that's 3 months away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phew, I thought Indy was gonna drag us back into this sub-Dom
I did
conversation.
too. I was like, let's go. It's so hype.
Although, Josh, if you want to just start calling out every new character we meet,
I'm so down with
sub
that.
or a Dom,
Yeah.
that'd be a bold direction to take the podcast in.
Man, there'd be an interesting mix here.
So AJ, feel free to cut this.
Then when I just start labeling them subs and Dom, people can be like, what happened? Why did Josh start this?
This turned left.
The Patreon's
I really enjoyed
up in the deleted scenes.
For the blooper reel. I really enjoyed the conversation at the end of the Kalam section around the campfire with him, Keneb, and the children. And, I wrote down this quote that Kalam says that fighting is for people who fail at everything else. And it's during this conversation where he's talking to the children about what they want to do. And then they start talking about the difference between fighting and soldiering. And, I think the books are very reflective about violence and on a personal level, but also in how it works in the society and through military. And I just enjoyed that conversation and kind of having it be spoken about around the campfire. I appreciate that. Did either of you take anything away from that?
I thought it was kind of sad in a way that the kids already are like, we definitely want to be fighters. We need to be fighters. Like,
fighting's cool.
Yeah, like they don't realize another option, or maybe they're not even thinking there are other options for themselves, which I think it's good that Kalam was like, no, guys, this is not the way you need to go. Yeah.
Well, it's like clearly they're informed by their situation of their children, and now here they are in the desert after they've been chased out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I'm glad that this is his new crew. I didn't think of Kalam as a very, I don't know the word, a family man, I guess, but he's taken on this whole family to, I don't know why. It seems like it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Unless they all die, then it'll be sad.
Do you think they'll burden Kalam on his journey across the desert?
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they like the kids like 5 and 7 on their own horse? I'm like, what? How?
I forget their exact age, but they're definitely young.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
They're definitely going to be a burden.
Or maybe they'll like somehow save the day for some reason. I don't know. Why else?
I guess we'll see now.
Why else are they relevant? They're either I don't know, or maybe they're not. This book is notorious for the let me introduce you to a character who's going to die in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me.
Josh, so let's take a pivot into this mysterious flooded warren that in this chapter we learn is the Tisty Eater's warren, the Elder Warren, crawled Merlin, or how the name's a mystery to me.
Yes.
The Warren, Elder Warren of Shadow, and these T'lan Imass show up. We talk about who's on the boat and a lot of stuff going on. What'd you make of these T'lan Imass and their mysterious arrival?
Don't fucking know. It's so fucking dense and complicated. Like, I have 1,000,001 questions about the literally 6 pages that were given to this plot point. So
sure.
Number 1, why did they show up?
Right out of the dirt, no less.
2,
the dirt was there. What do you mean, Josh?
Shh. Why did they show up? Number 2, why were the other T'lan Imass here before? I think they were T'lan Imass in there. Yeah, and they're dead now.
Well, they were searching for their kin, so
yes.
T'lan Imass had been here prior.
Okay, yeah. 3, what? The Tisty Eater's warrens the same as the one that Shadowthrone and Cantillion have? How do you even let your warren get taken? Also, lots more questions. What's his face? Culp uses this one? Culp uses this
Culp
warren?
uses the Menias warren.
Okay.
Which is like
I didn't think he used this, but they said something like about we're in your warren, and I was very confused by that statement. And I was like, is this Culp's warren? That makes no sense.
No, so he like uses this like illusionist warren.
He used one that had
and
sorry, go ahead.
I think its full name is like Menias Rashant, but it's like it's a warren, and this is an elder warren. So this is like a human can't access this warren. For the most part. So it's like the warren he's accessing is like a child of this warren.
Okay. That cleared up a lot for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was interesting enough, and I was surprised that the T'lan Imass didn't just murder them all, but also, like, they did a whole bunch of weird shit, and, like, they're so vague and ethereal and above everyone that I'm like, can you give me any explanation of what's happening, please and thank you? I understand you're ageless monster beasts, but, like, we mortals would love some info.
Yeah, put me in the loop,
But
please.
also, I did read the sentence, great pain, how long? Forever? I read it like 4 times and had to just like put the book down. It was like, this got heavy so fast with this Lagana breed guy.
Yeah.
That fucked Stormy up.
Bearing the burden.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Indy, what'd you think of the T'lan Imass arrival? Do you have any more clues than Josh does? He seems to have more questions than clues.
You know me. I always have clues.
Yeah? Look, key me in. What's going on? Tell me the secrets.
Well, they're looking for their renegade kin, and...
That's for sure.
And they took a head. They
did take a head.
So
Any
I
thoughts
think...
about what that's about?
I think they're going to use that head to find their kin. You see, because it only makes sense. No, I really honestly have no idea. That whole scene made zero sense. I think my favorite parts were just when Felicin would just start laughing at them because she was just
she's
so
fucking insane.
like over the situation that and then they're like, stop laughing, Felicin, like shut up, because she's just so done.
Favorite part of Felicin in that whole chapter is like, it is just primo Felicin.
Angst.
She walks up to like Boden's at the end, and he's like kind of not been paying attention. He's just sit off to the side, and like I forget the exact line, but her thought is like, he probably doesn't even understand or care about this.
Oh my god, how does she not realize he's like probably the best of all of them? Like,
oh my god,
the clues are all
so
there,
bad.
Felicin.
But if we could just go back to like the part where, I don't know, they gave Stormy.
Yeah, they gave the
Stormy.
Lagana breed gave Stormy his sword.
Yeah,
and he straight called out Gessler. He was like, he said some shit about him not being like worthy for the sword or something. I was like, that's cold.
It was a 4-foot long sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like made of flint.
I didn't and then who's the one and then he spoke to Stormy, and that's when he said like, great pain.
He says, Gessler said, oh no, I know what it was. Gessler offers his soul to the bridge to bridge the thing, and Hentos Ilm states just the word insufficient. Oh, so good.
And then my thing is like, first of all, why is it a warren filled with water and why is there a boat in it? Weird. That just makes no sense. Where are you going? How is it moving? It just doesn't, I don't understand it, but I don't really, that's in like irrelevant to me. Why would they leave them there? Why are they in there? And they're literally sitting ducks. Like what? How are they getting out of this? Those are my thoughts.
I don't think we know yet. I have no clue.
Yeah.
Because, like, what are they doing? How is this a plot with them sitting in a warren that they can't get out of?
Well, they got pulled into it by that insane mage who was driven insane by the Otatarl. So it's not like there was a plan, right?
So are they there for a reason?
No, they're
adrift.
Are
they stuck there for a reason? Like, we're
not even sure if they got in there, right? They just were escaping the other mage, and then they were in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The T'lan Imass are bullies. I don't know. I don't know why they even bothered going in there. They're like, oh, we're just looking for someone. They're not here? Okay, well, here's a sword. You're all doomed. Bye.
The T'lan Imass are bullies.
They are, especially the girl. Like, girl power, weird. But, like, come on. Yeah, that's all I got. I have no clues, man. Peter. If you think that we could get clues from that section, you have to be... It's spoken by someone who's read the books.
I just wanted to see what you had for you, you know?
Unfortunately.
But before we get on to chapter 10, I did want to read the exact quote here. He was at his prow, his back at everything, to everyone. She wondered at his indifference. Lack of imagination, she concluded.
Yeah.
That's just really, that's primo.
And then what is he like questions her entire being at the end. And she's just like, I have a feeling that they're going to have a romance.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's hear about this battle.
Oh God, I'm not. Chapter frickin' 10.
Chapter 10. Diker trails Coltane. The Wiccan and the Malazan have made camp near the Sakala River, refugees in tow. On the outskirts of the camp, Diker dodges crossbow fire and meets Captain Lull. The Weasel Clan's leader, Captain Lull, guides Diker to the War Council. Bolt, Coltane, and the other leaders debate and discuss the order in which they will cross the river. Wagons, wounded, livestock, and finally, the Malazan refugees. Noble Malazans arrive to complain and are quickly dismissed. The warlock Sormo Enath speaks of using the ancient spirits of the land. The Warrens have become dangerous to use because of the Soul-Taken and Divers crossing the continent. Without them, Chemist Relo is a weaker commander. Diker travels with Corporal List. The land spirits have woken, and a child warlock Nether escorts them to a vantage point to view the crossing. The livestock soon finish crossing the river. Nether's twin, another child warlock named Nil, summons the skeletal remains of local tribespeople. Sealk and Hissar soldiers are striking the rear, and Coltane rides against them. Diker and the refugees cross the river on a stone pathway that was constructed. Then, as the rebel peasant army rides after them, sappers detonate and destroy the bridge. They set up fortifications on the other side of the bridge and regain their footing. The Redblade captain and many Sealk Marines died in the battle. Chemist Relo is delayed by a 10-day. However, Ubaradad has fallen, and they must now ride for the High-Fist Pormqual and Aaron. Nether, Nil, and Sormo Enath invite Diker to witness their ritual. They summon the Semk Ascendant that has been trapped by Jagged magic. They kill it and sacrifice its power to the land spirits of 7 cities. The Semk mourn, and the Wiccans celebrate. Afterwards, the noble plead with Diker, but the historian walks away to join Coltane and the Wiccans. Josh, I'm coming to you.
Can I get more coffee? I just ran out.
Oh my Christ. Go. Kids these days.
This chapter is like thick pudding. It looks good, but when you taste it, it's just too much.
What's too much about it?
The detail, the characters. Why do we need to be why do I have to learn about 10 new characters? Granted, I like those little magic children.
I like them too, Nether and Nil.
Yeah. But they must be really old.
It's a unique quirk they have as children.
Where is, speaking of olds that are young, who's the person that died that is a child? Is she ever coming back?
Tattersail?
Yeah.
Well, she's on Genabacchus with the Rivi.
Yeah.
So.
Where is that? What was even the point of that? What was even the point of that? Why did that even happen?
It definitely comes up again, so.
In, like, the next 5 books?
Yeah, somewhere in the next 8 books, it'll definitely come up.
She's gonna come back a full-grown woman. We're gonna forget that I even heard about her. Oh, 'tis the life.
Alright.
Alrighty, where were we?
You're throwing it to me.
Indeed.
Okay.
So, Josh, while you were getting coffee, India described this chapter as like thick pudding.
Oh.
Perhaps it looked good, but as you got into it, it was just a little too much. What did you think of this battle and the many details that we learned in it?
I would say, in my opinion, that it was more to me like a very thick stew.
Okay, we'll clarify the metaphor.
So I would say that when I look at stews and I see all these bits and it's just thick and 2 C's, I don't think it looks appetizing to me, but then I dip in and I supple that warm broth and it brings me right in, and I think that's how it was for me. I was like, this is a lot to take in. I don't know if and then I was super duper into it. Just getting all those carrot chunks, a little bit of beef every now and then.
Sounds pretty good.
All right.
I'm going to take a chance on a food metaphor. I'm going to go, it's like a long taffy. At first, I'm like, well, I guess this is all right. This tastes good. And then I just, it just keeps coming and it just keeps coming. It doesn't stop. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, taffy. It's just like I'm imagining one of those bubble gum by the foot. I forget the name of them.
Shit, bubble
by
tape.
the foot.
Bubble tape.
Bubble tape wrap. Tape.
Just bubble tape. That's all it was.
Laffy
or
Taffy.
those fruit by their foot.
Airheads.
Nerd
anyway,
rope.
so.
Oh yeah, nerds rope.
But you get what I mean. Like I just felt like I became absorbed in it, and the battle was so long. We just kept going and going. So I appreciated the battle, but I do understand there is a fair amount of detail, and we do sometimes get into it.
Yeah,
Josh, what did you think of the new Warlock children we meet? We now have a whole cadre of them.
Yes. Oh, I love that word. So
it's a great word. I only use it because of this book series.
I there's another one I've read that uses it like all the time. I'll say it's in some ways it's like pretty cool, and in others it's child soldiers, and that's not great.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're making some choices. I have a lot of questions on like the physical lifespan of these bodies. Like I understand that the minds in them are already fully grown, but like are these children's bodies going to grow into adult bodies? And if that's the case, like at the end of that life, is the Warlock going to supplant his consciousness again? Like, is it like what is this?
Well, I don't think it's their consciousness. I don't know how much is their consciousness, but I know it's like after all the Warlocks were killed, the Ravens like brought their power. So I don't know how much of it was their consciousness.
Interesting.
Well.
I assumed it. Okay, that's interesting then.
I'm not 100% on it, to be honest. So I'd actually love some clarification, but definitely their power, and I do think some of their identity is brought to them.
Nether, it was kind of chilling in some ways, but she was very powerful. Nil is my guy. Nil's just like, all right, y'all, time for me to do cool magic shit. I hope you're ready. Here's some skeleton people who are kind of fucking me up right now as I'm looking into the past. 'Cause I was a little worried for him.
I love how he's just like, let's get these skeletons going. And then he raises them up and he's like, whoa, well, wait a second.
Oh, I did not mean this.
Yeah.
In India.
This is a darker scene than I thought.
India, I don't know. It's because I had to reread
quite
it.
Dark.
But I think last week we were having a big discussion on why Coltane and his people preferred Malazan rule. Do you remember we talked about that? Because you were confused because they were originally rebels.
Yeah, we were clarifying the Wiccan stuff. Yeah.
There is a great 3 sentences in this chapter. So those, I don't know if you called it with the audiobook, but those skeletons were
like past Wiccans or something.
Kind of. I think it's more that like Diker's like, why are they doing this? And Nil's kind of like, this is literally like what we did. And it was this endless cycle of we kill their people, they kill our people over and over, but we're all the same people. And it was just like, maddening. And then the Malazans were like, fucking quit it. Or it's more like the Malazans gave them a reason to unite, and since that time they united, they've managed to stay united, and they're like, we will do whatever it is to not return to literally killing our kin. Yeah. Which was pretty wild.
It was a pretty wild scene with the mom stabbing all the kids.
Yeah, that was fucked.
Yeah, dark stuff, for sure. Kind of an eternal torment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they cross the river and they explode the bridge. What you think of once kind of the whole battle happens and they abscond across the river, Inge? Were you caught up in too much of the detail, or were you kind of just waiting for it to be over?
I just was confused. I thought that the Red Blade people were on their side.
They are on their side.
So then why did they blow up the bridge?
Oh, it was like because it was a strategic, the enemy. Oh, Josh.
I'm going to go for it. Okay, so the Red Blades did not blow up the bridge.
Oh.
Okay, so what happened was there's like an engineering corps, right, in the current Malazan army/refugee train. So like there's 12 guys who are the engineers. They built the road so that the Malazan could get over, and then they exploded the road at the peak of the enemy being on it so that they get swept away by the explosion and by the river.
You see, okay, because I thought that they only got halfway over and then somebody exploded it, but then all the bad people died, and I was like, oh, well, that was convenient.
No, they waited until the last people to get over were like Diker and the last Wiccan
the refugees.
Yeah, the refugees were gone for a while.
It was a long con. Yeah.
I do want to say, it was, for someone as smart as Diker, there were some real heavy-handed hints thrown his way that they were definitely like, I didn't foresee a road being built, but when they're like, there's wagons and wagons of stone, I assumed they were going to try and dam the river and then again explode it, because we've seen that they have explosions usually. That was my thought. I thought they were going to dam it and then explode it. I did not expect a whole road, which also made sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
They have a lot of injured people with them.
Yes.
Like a lot.
Naturally.
And it just seems like a whole shit show. Coltane's keeping his shit together fairly well.
I know we're going to get to it later because Diker talks to them at the end, but I do want to shout out the two nobles who...
They're incredible.
They are incredible, and I have so much admiration for them.
We are in two different worlds. I was planning on ending this recording session by screaming, "Eat the rich," because I'm done with the two of those. I mean, the one guy's kind of cool, but the other nobles we meet are all fuckheads.
Well, Josh, let me clarify. They're definitely fuckheads, but here's what I mean. They are incredible because they are just, like, blinded by their own wealth and just so out of touch in an incredible way. You know, It's like, literally, they just crossed the whole thing. Hundreds of soldiers die, huge battle, and then they're like, "Yo, Diker, our servants, they are having a tough time. I need you to help us out."
Fuck them, man. Oh, I was so done with them.
Oh my God.
And he's just like... I have to go.
The gall of those. Oh my God. Oh. And then we also see there's Warren talk, and there's this whole Semp god. Inge, what you find about all this and the talk of the magic that's kind of been constructed here on Seven Cities?
So that's at like the end, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk through this. They somehow trapped an ascendant.
So I think the Jaghuts did.
The Jagged did.
The Jaghut trapped the Ascendant to current, like it's currently there until it's dead, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but this was ancient times in which they trapped the Semp Ascendant.
Right, and it's just been pouring, like growing magic in the area because of all the spirits around it. Like, who did that? And
I think it's more like... The Semp people are from not quite here, but close enough, right? And they draw power from this Ascendant, who funnels the power in such a way that a lot of them die.
I thought how do they draw power? I thought the Ascendant takes the power from them.
No, the Ascendant is like their god, and them worshiping him gives him power, I think. I think to be an Ascendant, you kind of have to have people worshiping you. Because remember, Kroll in the last book didn't have anyone worship anymore, so he was kind of losing power. Even though he was an elder god. But anyway, so like they are worshiping him, which gives him power, but then he gives some of that power back to individuals to like have mages, right?
Right.
And I think it sounds like he would have been an incredibly powerful Ascendant who probably would have manifested in the physical realm. And so the Jaghuts were like, we need to contain him. And even while being contained, he was able to do a lot of shit. And the spirits of the land had nothing to do with him. It was all to do with, like, Sormo Enak and the other warlocks, because they were using the spirits of the land instead of their warrens, because the warrens currently are infested with the shape-shifting people.
The divers.
Yes, the divers. And so I think that there were just so many spirits who had been awoken kind of by the warlocks on the Malazan side that they were like, these Ascendant's power was now in this area because of all his followers there, and so that's why they all kind of met up and just devoured it. And I think the Warlocks led them to the Ascendant.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, in some ways it's real fucked up. And it also kind of sounds like perhaps all of the mages of the Ascendant die, maybe. Or are horrifically, hurt or something. It's not super elaborated upon.
I did find it sad, and I appreciate the passages where Diker's talking about mourning and how mourning kind of is a universal thing, and you can hear the Semp wailing, you know?
Yeah.
And,
it's some fucked up shit.
You don't need religion to channel it, necessarily.
Oh, and then we hear that the Wiccans literally have been told they're not allowed to mourn until their march is done.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And also, I totally zoned out during your whole explanation, so if it was right, if it was wrong,
who knows?
That's a matter for the correction section.
Works for me.
I'm going to assume it was right, though, so I think I'm going to put those good vibes out there.
It sounded right.
Yeah. We're almost at the end there, but we find out that Ubaradad has fallen, and they have to go even further across overland to the city of Aaron.
We're all coming together. We are all coming together.
That's right. Either you got any big thoughts about this this desert journey we're going on now that it's been extended?
Oh, I have a thought.
Yeah.
It's not gonna end well.
Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, okay, I'll say this. So far, Erickson has subverted many expectations, but like, I mean, what are the odds they get to Eren and Eren has still held and not fallen? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like, in a lot of fantasy books, that is what the final conflict would be they get to the final city and it's been taken and they have to, you know, like, but I truly don't see, with all these armies supposedly existing, like, how would Eren survive the next 3 months on its own, like, cut off from Malazan? Unless the Empress sends reinforcements.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But,
well, I guess we're gonna have to find out now, aren't we?
Yeah, and also it's gonna be like, there's gonna be a lot of desert probably, so they'll probably die there.
Desert.
Also, India. On slide 139 of the companion guide we use, there is a handy dandy map.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Sun Animander, right? So in this PowerPoint, there's a slide with a map, and it is the first time since in these 10 chapters that I have had any idea where the characters are. So I now have a so much better understanding of like the relationship geographically of where they are. Because for a while, I really thought that the Mappo and Crocus and all them, I actually really thought they were close to like both Kalam and the
Oh no.
I now see they are super far away, and Kalam and them are also very far away from Coltane and his army, so this helps a bunch.
Yeah, we're pretty spread out across the continent.
Yeah.
And then Felicen and co.
I mean, I can't wait to see how Erickson somehow puts them all in the same spot in 18 chapters from now. I'm very impressed when he does it. Yeah.
As always, we're 10 Very Big Books on Twitter and Gmail. Let us know what you think of the show, and, I gotta say, the early morning recording session went all right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also,
was that the end?
Sorry, I said, yeah. Inge, before we go, any big hot takes going out? Any big predictions? We're about halfway through the book.
We are going to start our next scene 3 months later. Everyone's in Eren, and I think that some chaos is going to happen.
That would be the plot twist of the fucking century for me, if we just time jumped.
Chaos is going to happen.
Well, didn't we just time jump? Like, chapter?
Well, it's been like 3 months, yeah. It's been like deceptively slipping by.
Yeah. It's true.
So we're just going to time jump again to when everything's a little bit more... You know what, though? And I really, really hope that in those 3 months that, like, Felice and Haboric and them are still in that warren.
Yeah, maybe then they'll have figured out anything about the situation.
Anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Goodbye. See you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hello, everyone. Producer AJ here with some exciting numbers. As of recording this outro, every episode in Season 1 has passed at least 1,000 listens, which is just incredible. What's even more incredible is our total number of listens across all the episodes have now topped 16,000. These numbers are bigger than we had ever imagined they would be, and we will never be able to thank you enough for all of your support and your tweets and your emails and everything. If you like big numbers and you want me to talk about them more, you can always tell your friends to listen to the show, and you can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Thanks to Dan Gesrick for making our spectacular logo. You can follow him on Twitter at Dan Gesrick for a really great thread of dogs and Halloween costumes. And of course, the music from the show comes from Amaranthin's album Simulant Rain, which you can find along with their other music on bandcamp.com. Links to their pages will be in the show notes, and 10 Very Big Books will be back on November 8th with a very special episode that you will not want to miss, I promise. Until then, thank you so much for listening.